There we go, and let's get started.
Okay, so we're starting on our backs on the mat with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. And as always, just tune into your own body, doing what feels good and leaving anything out that doesn't feel beneficial or feel comfortable for your body tonight. Okay. So just settle down onto the floor, onto your mat for a wee moment, shift around, shuffle about and get comfortable. And let's just start off with some nice deep breaths, just to welcome in this hour of time for yourself and try to put out of our mind what's happened before. So nice deep breath in through the nose if you can. And then a long, slow breath out through the mouth. And another few breaths just like that. In through the nose. And out through the mouth as if you're breathing out through a straw. And just try to allow your whole body and your mind to relax a little bit as you're breathing out. Perfect. And then we're just going to start into a little bit of movement. So you might like to put your hand down onto your hands onto your hip bones. You know, if you have your hands in this sort of a position, you know, where your thumbs and your index fingers are making a kind of diamond or kite shape. And if you have your thumbs pointing towards the belly button and your fingers pointing down towards the pubic bone. So just take a nice deep breath in. And then on your exhale, we tilt the pelvis back, which just means we press the lower spine into the floor and feel the glutes lifting slightly off the floor. And then relax as you breathe in, bringing the pelvis back into that more neutral position. Exhale, tilt back. Inhale, release. Do two more like this, still focusing on trying to relax and soften everything on your exhale, including the mind, if you can. One more. And release. Good. Just bring your hands down onto the floor beside you. And we're just going to rock the knees from side to side, just to help kind of release that lower back. So just letting the knees fall over to each side. They don't need to stay connected. You'll maybe feel your feet lifting off as you sort of rock onto the sides of your feet as you roll. Good. Another couple. Perfect. And then just bring your knees back to the center and shuffle about again, trying to get the weight evenly distributed on both sides of the pelvis. And then now we're going to just move the arms a little bit. So if you start with the arms lifted with your fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, palms facing in towards each other. And now as you take a nice breath in, we're just going to take those arms up and over your head, bringing the hands to the floor if possible. And then as you breathe out, just bring the arms back to the center with your fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. I always run out of space here with the wall and the radiator above me. Okay, so breathe in, take the arms up. And breathe out, bring the arms back to center. Breathe in, lift the arms up and overhead. And breathe out, bring them back to center. Good, one more. And out. Good, and then just take the arms the whole way down to the floor, either side of the body. We're going to do a couple of the shoulder bridge. So take a nice breath in to prepare. And then on your out breath, we start into that pelvic tilt. And then we keep on going, lifting the glutes, lifting your lower spine, lifting the middle section of your spine, coming up just into a nice straight line, squeezing into your glutes as you press the hips upwards towards the ceiling. And then slowly lowering back down, middle section of your spine reconnects with the floor, bottom of the spine reconnects, and then just relax the glutes back down onto the floor. Okay, we'll do it again with the arms this time. So exhale, lift the glutes, peel the spine up. Now breathe in and float the arms up, bringing the backs of the hands to the floor if possible. And then exhaling, lower the arms, lower the spine, and lower the glutes. Good, just a couple more of those. Exhale, tilt pelvis back, curl and lift. Breathe in, float the arms up and over. And then exhaling, bring the arms down as you lower the spine and lower the glutes. Good, keep on going with this lovely flowing movement. Exhale, lift, squeeze into those lovely glutes. Breathe in, arms up and over. And exhale down. And one more time. Exhale, tilt the pelvis first, then lift. As if you're peeling that spine up off the floor. Inhale, float the arms up and over. And then exhale, lower the arms, lower the spine. Perfect. And then just give the knees a nice little hug into the tummy. And maybe a little gentle rock from side to side. Perfect. Then let's put the feet back flat down onto the floor. And we're going to lift the arms and put your hands in behind your head. So you're fully carrying the weight of your head in your hands. This will help to take any pressure off your neck. So we're going to go into some nice abdominal curl ups or chest lifts, whatever you prefer to call them. So starting flat to the floor, elbows stay nice and wide. Take a lovely deep breath in. Then as you breathe out, first off, we think about drawing the belly button inwards. Then lift your head and then try and lift your shoulders up off the floor. Chin is tucking in towards the chest. So your gaze, your eyes are focused on your thighs. And then breathe in, release back down. Good, we'll do a couple more just the same. Exhale, tighten the lower abs and lift head and shoulders. Now be sure that you're not pulling on the head. The hands are just there for support, but not to pull on the neck too much. Exhale, lift. It's all coming from the abs, not the neck. Inhale, release. Do one more. Exhale, up. Inhale and release. Now we're going to make it into more of an oblique twist, okay? So on your next exhale, lift your right shoulder off the ground, bringing your left knee in towards the right shoulder. And then breathe in, left foot down, right shoulder down. Exhale, lift your left side off, bringing your right knee in. And then release back down. Exhale, lift right shoulder, left knee. Breathe in, release. Exhale, lift left shoulder, right knee. And inhale, release. Good, let's keep on going. Perfect. Good, slow, controlled movement. That looks good. And all of these sort of abdominal curl up movements, the slower you do them, the harder they are. And that's how it works in my world anyway. But it just means you're really concentrating and really focusing in on the abdominals rather than letting speed or, momentum kind of just carry you along. Good, just alternating side to side with a little bit of a rest in between as you rest the head and shoulders down. We'll do one more on each side. Lovely. And relax, head and shoulders down onto the floor. Okay, now we're going to bring the hands back down onto the ground either side, but maybe just bring them slightly away from the body. Now, if you can, turn your palms upwards, so the backs of your hands are on the ground. This just sort of helps you to avoid really pressing down with the arms, because again, we want the focus to be on the obliques. We're going to do some tick-tocking of the legs from side to side. So if you come up onto your tiptoes, and then on your in-breath, just let the knees rock over to the right-hand side, and then use the exhale to tighten in and pull inwards with those abdominals and bring the knees into the center. Then breathe in, knees fall over to the left, and then exhale, tighten and contract, bring the knees into the center. One more time for everyone with the toes down, breathing into the right, breathing out into the center, breathing into the left, keeping both shoulders connected to the ground, breathing out, drawing the legs back in. Now you can stay with the toes touching if that's enough for you. Otherwise, we're going to lift the legs into our tabletop. So hips are at 90 degrees, our knees are at 90 degrees. So calves and shins are parallel with the floor. Now again, breathe in, knees roll over to the right hand side, left shoulder stays connected. Then use your out breath and core muscles to draw everything into the center. Breathe in, knees drop over to the left. Exhale, draw back into the center. Good, just keep on rocking side to side, using that exhale and contraction inwards of the abdominals to help bring the legs back into the center. At any point, if you need to, just drop the toes or the feet back down onto the floor or take a little rest. And if you want a little bit extra, what you can do is straighten the legs and just rock from side to side with straight legs instead of bent legs. I always run out of room going over towards the wall. Good. Taking breaks as and when you need to. Remember what I said at the very start, please just tune into your own body. See what feels good. And the funny thing about our bodies is that what we were able to do one day might feel totally different another day, depending on so many different things. So just always try to pay attention and respond when your body is sending you little messages. One more to each side. Brilliant. And then finish just giving your knees a nice little hug in to the tummy. And again, maybe rocking from side to side on your spine. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to roll over and come over onto our hands and knees. Okay. So if we get our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips, and we're just going to start off with a little bit of our cat-cow just to kind of stretch out the spine after all the floor work that we've done. Okay, so on your in-breath, push the belly down and the tailbone up so we get this lovely scooping of the spine. And then as you breathe out, we tuck the tailbone under, round up over the shoulders, tuck the chin into the chest and breathe all the air out towards the knees. Good. Now keep going, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. A couple more. Okay, perfect. Now, you might want to just bring your hands sort of up towards the top of your mat and bring your knees in just a wee smidge, okay? Now we're going to curl the toes so your toes are pressing down onto the ground, and we're going to push ourselves up into the downward facing dog, okay? So take a nice big deep breath in, and then on your out breath, lift the knees, lift the tailbone, and take them up toward the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then try to just press your heels down towards the floor. So you're feeling a really nice stretch down the backs of the legs. Good. Now take another breath in from here. And then this time on the out breath, we just come forwards and bring the knees back down onto the floor. Okay. Then take a breath in again. And then breathe out. Push back up again. Hold for an in breath. And then move on your out breath. Knees come back to the floor. Breathe in. Breathe out, push back. Hold for your in breath. And breathe out, come forwards again. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out, push back. Hold, breathe in. And breathe out, come forwards. Okay, so I'm talking a lot about the breathing. Don't worry if you're not getting the breath exactly when I say. Similarly, if all the sort of deep ins and outs is making you feel a wee bit lightheaded, just go with your own breath, do your own thing, okay? But the idea very often with me is just that I'm trying to get you really into your body and your breath so that you're just really focused on what you're doing. So if you're just sort of marrying your movement with your breath, but not the same as what I'm saying, then that's fine, okay? So we're going to try a few different options, but you can just come back to what we were just doing, or if it gets too much on your arms or wrists, just come back to the cat-cow, or even push yourself back into our child's pose, our relaxation position, and just take a rest, okay, if you need to. So if you want to try the next levels up, this is what we're going to do. You're going to lift your knees a couple of inches up off the floor, so we're starting just in this slightly lifted position, okay? So Not starting, with the knees too high. They're literally just a couple of inches off the ground. Everything's at that nice 90-degree position. All right. So again, nice breath in, prepare. And then breathe out. Push up. Try and get the heels down. Hold for an in-breath. And then exhale, come forwards, but just hover the knees off the ground. Breathe in. Push back on your out. Good. Hold for an in-breath. And then come forwards on the out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Push back. Hold. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come forwards. One more. Exhale. Push back. Hold. Breathe in. And then exhale. Come forwards. Okay. Next level up, we're going to try doing one leg lifted, okay? So again, starting from toes with the knees hovering slightly. Now lift your right leg, your right foot off the floor, take a breath in, and then on your out breath, push back. See if you can straighten out that right leg up towards the ceiling or the wall behind you. Good. And then come forwards, but don't put that right foot down. Okay, then let's go again. Exhale, push up. And then come forwards. Like I said before, do your own breath, just whatever works for you. Go again, pushing up and back. And then come forwards. We'll do one more on this leg. And then come down, take a rest if you need to, otherwise just go straight into a nice quick transition, lifting your left foot off the floor, exhale, push right heel back, take that left foot up, and then swing forwards. Try not to put the left foot down, exhale, push up, and then come forwards. We'll do two more. And last one. And forwards. Put both your knees down onto the floor. Bring your toes apart. Maybe take the knees a little bit wider. Push the bum back down towards your heels. And bring your forehead down onto the floor if that's comfortable. And just rest here for a few breaths. Getting your breath back. If your arms aren't comfortable in this position, feel free just to bring them round by the side of the body to give them a bit of a rest. Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. Now, one last down dog because we're going to push ourselves up and then come up onto our feet. Okay? So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a nice breath in. And then on your out breath, push up one last time. Try and get those heels down towards the floor. And then when you're ready, just slowly start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Legs don't need to be straight. You can keep the knees bent. And then take a nice breath in this forward hanging position. And use your exhale to help yourself come up to stand. Now, just be mindful of any dizziness or lightheadedness. Just adjust the camera a wee bit because you've been upside down a wee bit, so you might feel a wee bit lightheaded. So just pay attention to that. It's really difficult to get full height when you can still see the mat. There, hopefully you can see my feet and my head now. Okay, good. So standing up nice and tall, just come down to the end of your mat if you're not there already. Take a nice breath in. And then on your out breath, we're just going to do 2V roll downs. So bring the arms forwards, chin again, tucking in towards the chest, and just roll your spine down as if you're sort of rolling one vertebra forwards over the other. Get down to wherever is comfortable for you and take a breath in. And then breathe out. And restack your spine. Nice breath in. And then out. Rolling down. Again, knees don't need to be locked. And exhale, lift yourself back up. Good, and a nice breath in. And just a couple of backwards rolls of your shoulders. Okay, some leg work coming up. So we're going to take a really nice big step forwards with our left foot. Okay, and if you think about your feet being on train tracks, so they're still, hip width apart, even when you're forward. So rather than being on a tightrope, you're stepping on 2 train tracks. Does that make sense? Whoops, okay. It's supposed to help with your balance as I start wobbling madly. All right, so we're just going to do a few wee lunges in this position. So we're going to bend both the knees. So if we think about bringing our right knee down, just again to hover an inch or 2 up off the floor, but just let's check in with this left knee. Make sure that you can still see your toes beyond that left knee, and that you're not going forwards over like that, because that might hurt your left knee a wee bit. Okay, so try and have your spine upright rather than bending forwards as well. So when you're down here, let's see if we can lift the arms up with your biceps up either side of your ears. Okay, now we're just going to straighten everything. Up and then lower. Down and up. Good, a few more. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Brilliant. Keep breathing. Two more. Lovely. Lower the arms and bring that left foot back. Okay, shake everything out. And then, of course, we have to do it on the other side. So take a nice step forwards with that right foot. Coming up onto the tiptoes of your left foot. Let's lower ourselves down and just check the position of that right knee. Make sure we can still see our toes okay. And then lift the arms if you can. Biceps up beside the ears. And then lower and lift. Lower and lift. Breathing in and out. In and out. In and out. Two more, I think. Last one. Brilliant. Lower the arms and step, jump, hop your right foot back. Good. Then we're going to come into a really nice wide stance with the legs. Okay, toes pointing forwards. Okay, good. Now, just have your hands out in front with your fingertips pointing down towards the floor. Okay, now we're going to lean over to the right hand side and just try and tap the hands down. Maybe not the whole way down towards the floor, but just down a little bit. So you're getting a bit of a stretch on that left side. Okay, so down and then up. Okay, we'll do the same we'll do one side and then we'll swap to the other side. Gosh, I'm so out of breath. Okay, so nice breath in and then go. Good. Brilliant. So try to tap the fingers to the floor, but like I said, don't worry if you're not getting the whole way down to the floor. Good, a couple more. Keeping breathing. Now we switch to the other side. Good. And when you come back into the center, try and stand upright with shoulders back. So yes, we're rounding and coming forwards as we bend, but when we come back to the center, we're nice and upright with our shoulders back and down. Good. Last couple. Brilliant. Now just angle those feet outwards, but still in this nice wide position. And we're going to do some nice sumo squats. So we're taking these knees out really wide in the same direction as our toes. Shoulders back, hands in front. And we're just going to try and bring the hands as close to the floor as we can manage. Okay, and then squeeze into the glutes as we come back up to stand. Okay, breathing in and out. Lovely. Make it faster if you want more cardio. Slow it right down if you feel the need. Lovely. And feel free to adjust the position of your feet as well. If you've gone too wide or not wide enough. Brilliant. And last two. Lovely. Well done. Okay, then come back to the end of your mat. Shoulders back and down on a nice breath in. And then on your out breath, we come back to these nice roll downs. Breathe in at the bottom. And then breathe out as you restack the spine and curl yourself back to upright. Shoulders back, breathe in. And then breathe out. Rolling down. Breathe in and out. Now on this next one, we're going to come down onto our hands and knees again. So rolling down, just walk your hands forwards. Bring your knees down under your hips, hands under your shoulders. And if we go back into our cat-cow, so breathing in, looking forwards, pushing the belly down, and the tailbone up. And then as you exhale, rounding across the shoulders, tucking the chin in towards the chest, and breathing all the air out towards the thighs. Breathing in, scoop, and breathing out, rounding. Get a couple more. Brilliant. Okay. Now, bringing your spine into a nice flat position. We're going to use the core breathing where we exhale and draw belly button in to hold everything really nice and steady. So take a breath in. Then on the exhale, extend your right arm and your left leg out in front and behind. And then lift them up to shoulder height and hip height. And then inhaling, bring them all back into the center. Other side, exhale. Extend and lift. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, extend and lift. Inhale, come back. If you're finding yourself really wobbly from side to side, just keep both hands on the floor and concentrate just on extending the legs out behind. But if everything's feeling okay, try doing the opposite arm and opposite leg at the same time. Okay, just keep going with a couple more. Brilliant. And then just finish whichever one you're on. Lovely. Okay, so if you grab your little towel now for your knees. And we're just going to do a little bit of a warm up for the wrists, because we're going to go into some rocking press ups next, okay? So just some nice circles inwards of the wrists. Good, and then the other direction. Lovely. Then just ups and downs. So if you bring your elbows into your side and then just point hands up and down. And then side to side. It's like a very strange dance. Lovely. Then the last one, just bring the backs of your hands together. Imagine they're super glued together and try and drop your elbows down. So you're not allowed to let the backs of the hands peel apart. Sometimes you can get a better feel for this if you just put the backs of your hands onto the floor and then try and sort of bend back. So we're just trying to stretch over the back of the wrist, or the front of the wrist. I'm not sure what you call that part. You know what I mean. Lovely. All right, so wrists should be nicely warmed up, but obviously if at any point it gets too much for your wee wrists, just take a break. All right, so we want the knees to be further back than the hips this time, if possible. Okay, so there's different levels for this. So I'm aiming for you all to do about a level 2, okay? Obviously those who might be watching this back or even attending tonight live, I know some of you might be able to do this, feel free to come up onto your toes, okay, and do the full press ups that way if you want. Similarly, if you find this position, you know, with the knees further back from the hips, if you find that too hard, just come into this box position, okay? So we're going to start off with our hands at hip or at shoulder width. So hands underneath the shoulders, okay? And you're going to lift your feet up off the floor. So we're just balancing on the knees. Okay, so just start off with a little push back. So you're pushing your bum back towards the heels. And then swing forwards, rocking forwards, keeping elbows really close into the body. Try and take your chest down in between the hands Then use a nice strong exhale to lift up and push back, getting a little stretch. Breathe in, stretch forwards, rock forwards even. Breathe out, push back. Now, you might not get the chest close to the ground, just come to here, that's fine. You just do what works for you. But I want you to make sure that it's your chest coming down in between the hands rather than your head, okay? So rocking forwards, rocking back. Again, taking wee breaks if you need to. This is a challenging exercise. We'll do one more. Brilliant. Okay, take a little breather. A little shake out of the wrists if you need to. Okay. Now we're going to repeat it, but with the hands in a much wider position this time, okay? Now, I personally quite like to have my fingers slightly pointing in, so the hand, fingertips pointing in, and the bottom of the palm kind of right at the edge of the mat. Okay, so same idea, we want the chest coming down in between our hands rather than our head, okay? So the elbows are going to go wide this time. We're not keeping the elbows close into the body. So again, start off by pushing the bum back towards the heels. And then when you're ready, inhale, rock forwards, bending the elbows, chest in between the hands. And then exhale to push up, nearly whistled there, and push bum back. Breathe in, forwards. Breathe out, back. In and out. In and out. Feel free to adjust the position of your hands if you need to. And again, don't worry about how far down you get. You know, if you don't feel like your chest is anywhere close to the floor, don't worry. A couple more just. Brilliant, well done. Finish the one that you're on. Well done. Give those wrists a little bit of love again, circling in both directions. Maybe even just a little squeeze of the wrist on each side. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to come back down onto the floor. So just swivel yourself around, sitting down, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Take your breath in with your arms extended or in behind the knees. And then when you're ready, breathe out and melt yourself down onto the floor again. Bringing your head and your shoulders down, knees bent, and feet flat on the floor. Okay, we're going to take the arms out again, out to the sides. And this time, lift the fingertips, lift the hands up so your hands are up, resting on your shoulders. Okay, so we really don't want the arms involved at all. So we're going to bring ourselves up onto our tiptoes again. We're going to repeat the tick-tocks, working into those obliques. So again, breathe in, knees to the right, and then breathe out. Knees to the center. Breathe in, knees to the left. And breathe out, knees to the center. Good, another one each side. with the toes touching. And then if you're ready, lift the legs up into the tabletop position. Inhale, knees to the right. Exhale, into the center. Inhale, knees to the left. Exhale, into the center. Keep on going, rocking from side to side. Brilliant. Thought I could see something on the screen. Great job, good. Slowly side to side. And then if you want the extra challenge, but you find straight legs a bit too much, try this way where you come over to the side and just pause for a moment to stretch the legs out. And then bend them as you're bringing them back into the center. Over to the side, pause and straighten. And then bend before you bring them back to the center. Lovely. Keep on breathing. And every so often just check in with the shoulders. Make sure they haven't crept up towards the ears too much. Good. One more each side. Brilliant. Just give the knees a nice hug into the tummy and a little rock from side to side. Brilliant. And then put your feet flat down onto the floor again. Okay. Now just adjust yourself. Get comfortable on your mat. And then we're going to lift one ankle and put it onto the opposite knee. So if you start with your right foot and just put your the side of the foot or the ankle just to rest onto that left knee. Okay? Now you can just stay here if this is enough of a stretch for you. But otherwise we're going to try coming up into a little bit of a shoulder bridge with the legs in this position. Okay, so take your breath in. And then on the exhale, we squeeze into the glutes, lift the hips up off the floor. Try to keep pressing that right knee downwards as you squeeze and press hips upwards. And then lower back down again. Good, breathe in. And breathe out to lift. Hold for an in-breath. And then exhale to lower and relax. Try again. Exhale, lift. Hold, breathe in. Breathe out to lower. And one more. Exhale, lift. Squeeze. And exhale, lower. Brilliant. Okay. We'll swap over. We'll do the other leg. So left foot and ankle over to rest on the right knee. Now, like I said, if this is enough, just rest here like this, stretching. Otherwise, we're going to try 4 of the shoulder bridge, the hip lifts. So take your breath in. And then on the exhale, lift the hips up. Try and keep pressing that left heel downward or left knee downwards. And then exhale. Lower the hips back down. Breathe in. Breathe out to lift. Doesn't need to be super high. Breathe in and breathe out to lower. Good, we'll try 2 more, as long as everything's feeling okay in the knees and the hips. Breathe in and out. Good, and last one. Exhale to lift. Breathe in and exhale to lower. Lovely. And just stretch both the legs out for a moment, nice and long. Take the arms up overhead and just stretch yourself out as long as you can make yourself. Reaching long through the fingers, long through the toes. Good. And then bend the knees again, feet flat on the floor. And we're going to come back to our crisscross crunches. So we'll start with 2 just central ones. So take your nice breath in. And then on the out breath, connect in with those lower abdominals. Tighten as you lift your head and your shoulders up off the floor. Breathe in and release back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. Now into our crisscross. So exhale, lift right shoulder, lift left knee, and release. And then the other side, left shoulder and right knee. And release. Good, keep on alternating. Slow, controlled. Good, and as always, there is another level to try, those of you who want to. So we start with the legs in our tabletop position and curls up, head and shoulders lifted, core tight, and then twist to the left as you extend your right leg. Come back into the center, keeping head and shoulders lifted, twist to the other side, and back. Or just stick to feet on the ground, giving yourself a little rest in between. See what you feel like doing. That little final push, or just staying more slow and steady, focused and concentrated. It's up to you. Good, we've a few more. If you need to, take a little breather and then get back into it if you can. Nearly there. We'll do 1 more on each side. Brilliant. And relax head and shoulders down. Bring your hands back down onto the lower belly with those thumbs towards the belly button, fingers pointing down towards the pubic bone. And we're going to do some more of that pelvic tilt again. So breathe in. And then as you exhale, tilt the pelvis, pressing your lower spine into the floor and lifting the glutes ever so slightly. And then inhale, release. Exhale. Tilt. Inhale, release. A couple more. Exhale, tilt back. Inhale, release. Lovely, then just stay here with one hand down on your belly and just put your other hand up onto your ribs. Good. Okay, so I want you just to focus on both your hands. Now, as we breathe in, I want you to feel your body lifting up into both those hands. So your ribs, your lungs, and your belly both fill up with air. And then as you exhale, you feel both areas lower down away from the hands. And then breathe in. You maybe feel the chest area filling first and then the belly. And then release on the exhale. Couple more. One last breath. Breathing in. Lungs expand, belly expands. And breathe out. And then just let your breathing fall into a natural rhythm with your hands resting wherever is comfortable. Not trying to focus on anything at all, just giving yourself permission for a minute or two to just let your mind wander, drift. Let your breath be natural. And you might like to notice where your mind goes without passing any judgment. Just noticing, paying attention. And then seeing where it goes next. All the while breathing naturally and softly. And then just to finish, taking 3 of those lovely, deep, purposeful breaths. A nice long, deep inhale through the nose. And slow exhale through the mouth. And do 2 more, just the same. Perfect. And then resting there, if you have the time or the inclination, you can stay there as long as you like. But that's the recording ended now anyway. So I will press stop now.